This is one of the most realistic depictions of mental health. Like, it's just too real. It's too raw. That's the challenge with like really deep anxiety like this, is you ultimately end up having to do the thing you originally avoided just after a period of suffering, waiting for it to resolve itself. It's wild how accurate the anxiety is there. Hello, and welcome to Therapist Plays Rue Valley. And a special thank you to Owlcat Games for sponsoring this video. So I've been a fan of Owlcat's games for a while. I played Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and that was actually the game that kind of got me into CRPGs a couple of years ago, which culminated in a very lengthy, very thorough, complete psychological analysis and review series of Disco Elysium, which is why I was super happy when Owlcat reached out and asked me to cover Rue Valley, because it does seem to be a huge source of inspiration for Rue Valley. And if they're asking me to play it, that probably means that it gets pretty deep into themes of mental health. So I'm excited to check it out. The game is out today, and you can find a link to its Steam page in the video description and pinned comment. All right, let's do it. Let's dive in. Disclaimer, we do not support the use of unprescribed, purple or otherwise, medication for mental health, and warn you to avoid such things in real life. That's a statement I can get behind. I understand. Okay, so here is where we get to build our character, and it looks like we're building him out of like different personality traits. We've got how we make decisions, being more impulsive or more calculated, our social abilities, more introverted, more extroverted, and I guess our grasp of emotions between sensitive, mindful, and indifferent. So as we plug in personality traits, we'll see that that affects who we are. And the more impulsive we get, so if we go all the way over here, you're a very impulsive person, no question. Why make plans at all when you'll either change or abandon them mid-execution anyway? Oh, and it looks like we get both of these traits if we're like deep in the impulsive territory, both impatient and recklessness. But if we're only a little impulsive, we can kind of like tune that impulsivity to be more about like more actual like risk-taking behavior or just not being patient. And if we go all the way to calculated, it looks like we can either have kind of a lean towards more paranoia or indecision. If we go all the way, we get both. They may call you too calculated, but what if they're only saying it to confuse you? What's in it for them? Better think it over. Okay. So what kind of character do I want to build here? Well, I want to make someone who would be kind of an interesting case study for being a client in therapy. Because this is a game about role-playing and making decisions and kind of shaping your personality out of them. I'm going to go with a little bit calculated. You're often overthinking stuff and generally very cautious. This is also a mystery game, so I think it's fitting that we have some inbuilt skepticism, but I want us to be highly observant to things as well. I'm going to lean more towards the paranoid side. And then in terms of social skills, it could be a mix of these, but I'm also gonna probably give us, oh, this is pretty accurate. Like, as only somewhat introverted person, you can endure being in the company of others. I love that word endure. Like, it's still a struggle to do it, but we recognize it's necessary. But you can't perfectly hide how you really feel about it. So let's be more towards, you want to be secretive or awkward? I feel like secretive goes with paranoid pretty well. I want to build someone who like, and this is just an archetype. You see me make this kind of character all the time or just relate to them, but like someone who desperately wants to connect with others, but finds challenges in doing so because of some of their own difficulty with their social skills, being wary or like slow to trust other people, and maybe sensitive to their own emotions. Probably a lot of second guessing. So we're also going to make ourselves more emotional than indifferent. As a somewhat sensitive person, you easily empathize with others and are prone to surrender to your own emotions. I think that we're going to make ourselves a little bit extra emotional. Being a quite sensitive person, you see life as a struggle. especially when they tell you to just chill. What happens if we go all the way? As a highly sensitive person, you recognize life for what it is, a constant roller coaster of joy and suffering. In your experience, mostly suffering. And if we go all the way, then we end up with both of these traits, like dramatic and guilt-ridden. Okay, I think this is going to be our character. So we think deeply about things. We're quite calculated, even to the point of a bit of paranoia. Slow to trust, secretive, but we can perform socially. We want to be more social, but just find it difficult. And because we're so protective of that trust and connection to people, we're a hypersensitive individual who probably magnifies our own issues quite a bit. Maybe lashes out at times and then feels bad about it. This is my brand of depression. Let's go. It's 8 p.m. Oh my god, he's actually in therapy. Okay, I actually did not know that. Oh my god, this is perfect. I literally did not know he would actually be in a therapy session. I get to craft my own blend of depression and anxiety symptoms and then put him through therapy. This is perfect. Like, this is my element. Okay, the frenetic sound of a century-old clock nudges you back to the present. The stale air perfectly complements the image of the old motel room. I love this style. These, like, pencil sketch, almost. Got the classic, like, character portrait down there. And these are our traits, which we get a little insight into how we feel about them. You're just a normal private person, but people keep asking you personal questions over and over again. Oh, that's not so great for therapy. Like, I'm gonna guess that we're a bit skeptical of the process because that side of us that's paranoid, you shouldn't trust them, but keep in mind you shouldn't trust me either. Most of all, you shouldn't trust yourself. Like, someone coming to you in a helping role and saying, like, I have no other motives than to help you by asking these questions and understanding more about you does not always play well for someone who's pretty skeptical of that process. It seems like there's a dual motive. And if they've been burned by people, right, coming along with like some of these highly sensitive traits, it's a big thing to trust someone who says like, yeah, I have no other motives than to help you. And it's like, okay, but what's your angle really, right? So I imagine we're not totally bought into this. So we're guilt-ridden. It would be dishonest not to admit that it's all your fault. And dramatic. People may prefer comedy, but life only writes dramas. Man, bro is really depressed.
Still with me, Mr. Harrow?
Okay, Mr. Harrow, that's us. So we've got traits. Your personality traits determine your dialogue options. Some options will only be available if you have a certain trait, while others might be blocked by that same trait. Remember, traits are neither good nor bad. They're a crucial part of role-playing a character with a real personality. So to me, that says, like, if we build a different character, we would get different dialogue options. So this is a game you can run back through and replay a couple of different times and see different things. Because this dialogue is only there because of our guilty trait. I'm terribly sorry. My mind wandered off. Could you repeat that, please? Or we could lie and say, yes, you have my full attention. Well, we did spec highly into this, so I do think that an undercurrent of guilt as like a center of our anxiety is probably driving a lot of our behavior. So let's go with that.
No worries, Mr. Harrow. I'm aware that you may be experiencing a slight lack of motivation right now.
Status effects. Red ribbons on the character portrait show the status effects of your character currently has. Status effects have a negative impact on your personality and dialogue options. Total lack of motivation. It's not that you don't want to do all sorts of things. It's more like you lack the capacity to even initiate most of them. What's left of you is a creature driven by basic needs and quirks. So this limits our interactions somewhat. Slight lack of motivation, more like total lack. You'd rather stay in bed all day instead of attending this farce they call therapy in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I gathered that we would be not really bought into this. It's like something I do see quite often. That first stage of therapy is really about building rapport. And so it's not a lot of like really trying to dig deep into things, but really more just establish a connection, try to get the person to feel like this is a safe and comfortable place to explore themselves. But it's probably a rough start for us.
We'll be coming back to this condition of yours later during our sessions.
Condition. Okay, our personality is represented in this part of the screen. Shows the traits that we selected.
Now, I just want you to acknowledge its existence and try to stay aware of it at all times, if possible.
Okay. Silence befalls the room. A muffled clanging sound from outside, only making the moment more uncomfortable. Ooh, okay. So because we're dramatic, we don't have the ability to, like, just give the classic dismissive therapy line. I'm fine. Like, we're literally too dramatic to say it. All right, I'll try.
That's good to hear. Now, in order to keep us focused, I always limit the session length to exactly 1 hour, hence the alarm.
Okay.
However, since this is your first session, I'll allow a few questions, if there's anything.
Can't you simply state that I'm fine so we can both move on with our lives?
Mr. Harrow.
He looks you straight in the eye. You know very well that it's out of the question. To dismiss you right at the start would be negligence on my part, to say the least. Besides, I am your therapist now, and when I see a person in need, I can't ignore that. Not professionally, not personally. He looks away, stern-faced.
Let a client down, and I'm not about to start now.
It's a good therapist.
Any other questions?
Like I said, just trying to build some basic rapport. A therapeutic alliance. Is another session really necessary? I was hoping this would be a one-time thing.
Mr. Harrow, your case is not to be underestimated. We need to assess the situation carefully.
So there's something going on with us. We have like a condition. Our case. Not so long ago, nobody cared about what you do. Yet now, suddenly your business is everyone's business.
This first session is more for you to get acquainted with me and my methods. We have a long road ahead of us.
Yes.
Anything else?
Why do we have to do this here in the middle of nowhere?
It may be hard to understand the need for isolation at first, but my methods require complete divergence from the client's regular way of life, as well as temporary distancing from their social groups and circles.
Okay, I'm a little curious about what some of those methods are actually and why it would require that.
This place is ideal in that regard. However, it's understandable that you need a period of adaptation to both this idea and to your new surroundings.
Well, our combination of personality traits and lack of motivation, it's not really high adaptability, but who knows? We could pull it off.
So why I haven't asked you to hand over your phone yet. But please don't be alarmed. We'll talk about everything in due time.
Okay. He glances at the clock, almost too fast for you to notice.
That's it for today.
All right. Through the door, you hear that sound again.
You should go and check in at the office. Your room is probably ready by now.
Okay, let's get out of here. Yeah, therapy sucks. Let's get out of this scam therapy. Next to you is the source of the clangs you heard from inside. A young woman beating up an old vending machine.
Give me my coffee, you jerk!
Everybody's going through it here. That's real. Can we help? She's pounding the life out of the poor machine. Could she be here for therapy as well? Potentially. But we can't talk to her. We don't even have the motivation to talk to her. But I guess we can sort of wonder about her circumstance. Could she be here for therapy? Who knows? But unlike you, she definitely looks like she needs it. Poor woman. She should consult with a real professional, not a charlatan like Dr. Fink. I knew it! I knew he thought it was a scam. He's a sham scam therapist. Maybe she just needs someone willing to listen to her. Why don't you say hello? See if you can help somehow. Or is that too much to ask right now? Well, we don't have the motivation to talk to her. Ooh, but that's actually like what I kind of expected from us, right?
already.
We do want to connect with people. I think we desperately need it based on how we built our character, but
Come on, you thief.
we're highly limited by the traits that we picked. So these are all the things we can interact with. Is this ours? It's your car. Sad and miserable. Just like you. Dang. The vibes here are
Out already.
tough vibes. Tough but real.
Thief.
There's almost a comfort in this line though. Like it's your car, sad and miserable, just like you. I mean, it's the one thing that we can relate to. You ever feel like that? You do feel sad and down and miserable, and sometimes grounding yourself to that feeling is the only source of comfort that you have. I feel like that's where my boy is at right now. Okay, but we need to check into our room. All the attention of the girl behind the counter is occupied by the ongoing phone call.
Yes, Rue Valley Motel. Our Coral Destiny internet antenna is down?
Ah, this is like the Fritta of Rue Valley. She's the Fritta girl. Okay, we've got our first like skill check. Can we get her attention? Let's try. Too introverted. It's best to let her make the first move. She'll soon notice you on her own, end the phone call, and ask if she can help you. That's what receptionists are supposed to do. Oh man, this is like deep, anxious, avoidant behavior. So unwilling to assert yourself in even the most minor way that we just depend on like someone else being so overwhelmed with the awkwardness of us doing nothing that they will engage us. Pretend to look at the leaflets laying on the desk and hope she will address your. Oh man, this is some deep anxiety. I'll do anything. I'll do anything not to have to talk to someone. You grab a leaflet and stare through it, mentally preparing for the imminent conversation. You either manage to look like you're really here for the leaflets, or she simply doesn't care.
No, the repair tech already came yesterday. Said the internet will be up by noon today.
This combination of things, overthinking everything, too like introverted to really act, and then like highly sensitive, guilt-ridden, like I'm so gonna be rejected if I speak up. If I make my existence known, I have to have someone acknowledge my existence before I ever speak up. Like, it breaks my heart because I know a lot of people have this very crippling kind of anxiety that prevents them from not just like reaching out and connecting with people deeply, but even from doing like very simple things like this, like advocating for yourself to ask her like, hey, I need to get into my room. Like, can you pause or put the whole phone call on hold so that you can help me? It's the kind of thing that you would go to therapy for if we weren't skeptical that therapy is not just a sham, and like we think so right now. After a dozen anxiety-filled seconds, every second of anxiety is like 10 minutes though, you finally realize she's not about to cut the call short just because you happen to show up. Yes, you have to advocate for yourself. Oh, we need to kill time. Time in the game does not progress outside of dialogue. In order to wait until certain events happen, you need to find a way to kill time. Usually you can do that with various items and interactions around you. For example, reading a book, scrolling through your phone, or just chilling in a cozy chair. Okay, so we need to kill a little bit of time. Oh, we've got a couple things we can interact with. What is this? Window? The relentless dirt has smudged and stained the glass. Beyond is the endless flat of the desert. Its vastness is hypnotizing. We can stare through the window to pass some time. Until she finishes the call. Goodness, man. This is truly like locked down anxiety. Beyond the empty parking lot, there's only barren desert, stretching for as far as the eye can see. Its emptiness is drawing you in. You hear the receptionist mutter as if answering some unasked question of yours. And then, you notice small patches of green hidden in the sand. It seems there's always something to be found in nothingness if you stare at it long enough. Contemplate this profound insight. Is nothingness just an illusion? Emptiness but a result of failure to find those little something? We're just dissociating. We're literally dissociating as an attempt to cope with the potential anxiety of being told, please wait. until I am done with my phone call. That is a level of crippling social anxiety that someone who does not want to go to therapy is going to have a very hard time overcoming. Is it possible to find something even inside the most hollow thing? Only by observing it over and over again, until something eventually appears. The possibility unsettles you, but at the same time, your mind seems to lock itself down, unable or unwilling to continue. So this is like part of that overthinking, right? You stay in this clinch, unwilling to discard the thought, but unable to proceed. Oh, man. Bro is just going through it. After a while, the window stops being interesting. Minutes pass, but the phone call is still not at its end.
I know what I'm talking about. Your repair tech said it was fixed. Can you just...
Please go and just go and speak to her. She seems to get interrupted by the person on the other end of the line. Shall we stare through the window some more? I'll do anything not to talk to a person. Please finish the call, lady. Your eyes wander around the window pane in search of something interesting to occupy your thoughts. Keep staring. Now this is the real role play of like actual literal depression, anxiety. Just staring through a window, desperately hoping for a lifeline so that we don't have to engage. She's still arguing on the phone, though. Your muscles are sore from the days of exhaustion and the long wait. It might be better to sit down and relax. This might take a while. Ooh, now I've got sore legs. I'm literally, I'm getting worse. And that's how you know it's compensation behavior, right? Because the anxiety of talking to the lady behind the desk is not cured or coped with by doing some other thing that also causes us stress. Coping behaviors tend to lower our stress. Compensation behaviors tend to delay them and often cause other stressors, which is exactly like we're seeing here. We have a total lack of motivation, which means we're not really forward enough to go and talk to her. And so we're just doing something to like numb the mind, but that's also leading to another condition. Her legs hurt, her feet are swollen, and you dream of a comfy bed. And if you delay for even one more minute, you'll have to at least sit down. Okay. And now I'm going to move from the window to the chair. This is real. This is just real stuff. At last, now that you're sitting, the idea of her talking for however long suddenly doesn't seem that bad at all. This is not coping, my friend. You are not solving the problem of not being able to just advocate for yourself the slightest bit. I guess we'll get our phone. This is so just real life depression. Get the phone out. Doom scroll. Do anything. The phone bleeps to life with a lock screen that is obviously years old. If it wasn't a collection of pixels, it would be musty with age and neglect. Let's just get some doom scrolling going until she finishes the call. You scroll through stale memes, boring news articles, beach photos of ex-acquaintances, and poorly targeted sponsored posts. They're just feasting on the on the negative reinforcement of our own life now. Yeah, just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling, my man. In one picture, a grinning middle-aged stranger is apparently showcasing his newest baby. Thanks to a cleverly applied filter, both of them sport donkey ears. In an overly long and arguably racist video, a non-native speaker is repeatedly making embarrassing linguistic errors. They often turn out to be unintentional double entendres. Hilarity ensues. After a while, you realize that neither the pictures nor the posts are loading correctly. Let's check the signal. 1 bar, but you get the feeling that if it could, it would show half a bar. Seems like all these posts were from some time ago, stashed needlessly in your phone's memory. Unless you hook up to some local Wi-Fi, you won't get much internet here. Time goes by and the girl at the reception desk is still talking.
Misheard. No, she said Sunday noon. I wrote it down. I'm not... Sunday or later? That's... No. This is such a waste of time.
Finally, the girl hangs up, ending the forever call.
Hi, can I help you? I would have hung up earlier if I knew you were waiting for me. You're too quiet.
This is one of the most realistic depictions of mental health. Like, it's just too real. It's too raw. It's just look at our options here. Guilt-ridden. No, it's my fault. Like, out comes the sort of people-pleasing behavior. Again, we would choose that over just the smallest amount of self-advocacy. The secretive response. No, I just didn't feel like checking in right away. So we could just lie because we were too scared of being honest. And literally, because we have the secreted, we can't tell the truth, which is I didn't want to end up. It's sad, actually. It's really sad that we don't feel comfortable even with the smallest amount of assertiveness. I'm going to go with the guilt-ridden response because I think that's real and I think it's true to who we've built. It's my fault, really.
Apology accepted. Okay, let's get you into your room.
We've just magnified this situation to be so much bigger than it is.
Number 6. That's the last one on the second floor. Everything's ready for you. And...
She raises her hand, holding a piece of blue and red plastic.
This is your key card.
Thank you. Reach toward the key card. Or we could nod and wait for her to put it on the counter. Yeah, I have to choose that. We literally cannot make a decision for ourselves.
Oh, I see you're confused by this. You were expecting an you.
She's excitingly waving the card key around her head.
Decided to modernize for a number of reasons.
That's great. May I? No. I'm gonna keep waiting because I literally cannot speak for myself. Patiently listen to her story.
Actually, one reason, to be perfectly honest, the guests just kept on losing their keys. It was exhausting, and my dad didn't like the cost of replacing so many locks.
The guilt-ridden. It's my fault for looking like I'm interested in chatting. Like, yeah, we just caused this problem on our own by being avoidant and then, like, self-shaming. Like, you can see how recursive the cycle of negative self-evaluation becomes. And then ultimately leads to this, like, total lack of motivation because we don't know what motivation is like. We're not motivated to do much of anything because we wait for everyone else's enforcement of our own withheld desires. It's wild how accurate the anxiety is there. Yes, it's my fault. Sorry. Well, being so slow and lethargic certainly adds to the impression of a person with a lot of time to waste. Listening to her story is unbearable, but it's your punishment. While taking a breath between two sentences, she takes a look at your sad face, only to continue.
Yes, we decided to use electronic key cards. Cost us a lot to implement, but now when a guest loses their key, we only need to replace a piece of programmable plastic.
and now we have surfaced the, like, the hyper version of our anxiety, which is going up towards... Yeah, we've passed the guilt-ridden and now we're dramatic. Like, I literally can't take it anymore. And now I'm lashing out. I'm lashing out because I wasn't willing to just speak my mind when the tension was low. Please, I think I'm dying. You mean it. Your body hurts. Your tormented soul screams for rest. But your fate is in her cruel hands now, as if the keycard to your room.
Should I call an ambulance? It might be some time until they arrive.
I just need to get to my room. Like, if he just said that from the beginning, none of this would have happened.
Oh, all right.
That's the challenge with, like, really deep anxiety like this, is you ultimately end up having to do the thing you originally avoided just after a period of suffering, waiting for it to resolve itself. And then ultimately we say it anyways, and we could have saved all that time and energy. The disappointment of being cut short is plain on her face. And now we've disappointed the poor girl. This is a disaster. This is a disaster of an encounter with her. She hands over the key card and puts some kind of document on the counter. Ooh, we've got an inventory. Items you pick up are stored here while not in dialogue. You can select them and interact with them. Also, some of the items will show more information on their icon. For example, Wi-Fi availability, or battery level.
I'll just need your signature.
Ooh, okay. So paranoid. We have to read the document first. They won't get you this way. And don't forget the small print. The anxiety!
Oh, are you a lawyer, perhaps?
No, I'm just a highly stressed person. She interrupts you curtly. Why do you ask?
Just that, you know, people usually sign it without reading. It's probably the same in every motel. I bet my father copied it from a template he found online or something.
I prefer to know what I'm signing. Thank you very much. You read the whole document and do your best to find a hidden loophole or suspicious wording they may try to use against you. But alas, you can't find anything. If only you were a lawyer. Well, time to click the I agree button and prepare for the unknown consequences.
Thank you for your trust, sir.
She says with a barely visible
I'm here
smirk.
if you need anything. Enjoy your stay.
Oh man, just the magnification of every small thing creates so much of this tension inside of us. So this is our hotel key, room 6. So let's head outside. And go up the stairs. Okay, let's see. Is this our place? The paint is peeling from the wood of the door, but number 6 is new, shiny, and chrome. Okay. This is our room. Let's go inside. Here we are. What have we got? Suitcase? Hundreds of strangers have slept in this bed, leaving behind flakes of dead skin. Still, you can't wait to jump into the sheets and contribute to the collection. Unfortunately, between you and the object of your desire, on the folded sheets lies a dusty suitcase. Your suitcase. The smallest one you own. What? I'm so unmotivated and depressed that I can't even open the suitcase. It's too real, guys. It's too real. I get that kind of like post-vacation depression sometimes where the clothes that I kept in my suitcase will continue to be in there for several days. Like I don't like to unpack after a vacation because I often don't want to be home. I just can't deal with this right now. It's such a chore, but the more you prolong it, the worse it will get. Exactly. If you don't unpack now, it'll feel even harder and more pointless to do later. Yes. Step by step, a simple act of unpacking will become an insurmountable burden. And even thinking about it will make you feel weak and powerless. Do you really want to crawl back into that deep black pit? Guilt-ridden. I can't go back to that. Never. Open the suitcase. Ooh, okay. So the guilt actually helps us here. What have we got? Not much in the suitcase. Spare clothes, phone charger, toothbrush, and a couple other items. You weren't planning for staying for long. You better check if they have laundry facilities. Sessions, Dr. Fink said. Days or weeks, months even. Decisional check. Unpack the suitcase. Yes! We were able to calculate ourselves through the suitcase. You plug in your phone charger above the bedside cabinet. Put your spare clothes in the closet, your slippers next to your bed, and your toothbrush and a clip under the bathroom mirror. And now that the suitcase has been dealt with, this motel room is officially your home. More like a prison. Yeah, let's go with the drama. Everything is bad. Well, now, you could describe it that way too. It seems like there's a little inner part of our conscious, though, that is like trying to reframe our perception into something a little more tolerant, if not positive, to our circumstances, which is actually a good sign. And if I were his therapist, and if he didn't think I was a hack like Dr. Fink, that's probably where I would start from, is I would try to surface that little instinct that seeps occasionally through the cracks of these like secretive paranoia anxiety features. The way I like to imagine it is that the personality of this character is not likely to be these sorts of things at his core, but these are what he is currently dressed up with. These are the layers and layers of clothes that we've put on to protect ourselves, right? In maladaptive ways. We've protected ourselves from having to engage socially, from having to go through the discomfort of unpacking and organizing things when we don't even want to be here. Of course, if I'm secretive and paranoid, then I don't have to get close to anyone because they probably want something from me anyway, so there's no point, and then I can justify my isolation, which is actually like contributing to my problems. Like those are the protective anxiety cloaks that we're wearing. But I think if you were to peel back some of those layers, you'd find someone who is at least somewhat self-invested in getting better. I mean, we're skeptical of the idea of the sessions, but clearly we're hanging around for them. So there's a possibility that we may benefit after all. What do we think about ourselves, though? Can we look in the mirror? There's so many dark patches that this can barely be called a mirror. A small cup holds your implements of oral hygiene. Let's take a look at that mirror. The mirror splotches make interesting patterns on your face. They conceal a dark circle here, a mole there, a patch of wrinkles. I've wasted my life so far, and now I'm getting old. Bro, it's tough, man. And even just some of the health anxiety. Let's get a glimpse at the psyche. Why do you feel like you've wasted your life so far? You're not as old as you look. Half of it is probably just due to poor hydration and lots of stress. You have more than enough time left to waste. Even that's like a sad way to reflect on it. You have more time to waste. Your life is full of the potential to be more sad. Are we at least motivated to brush our teeth? Do I put toothpaste on it? Or, oh no, I always wet my toothbrush before I put toothpaste on it, to be honest. A horrible smell fills your nostrils. It's like there's a plumbing issue in hell, and all that blocked sewage is feeding directly into this faucet. Then you see the water streaming out of the tap. It's a robust shade of jet black mixed with chunks of silt. I changed my mind. I'm not touching that water. Oh, yeah. We can't proceed because we're too paranoid. Let's see. Look at the mirror again. A stranger who looks exactly like you is looking you straight in the eye. We do not recognize ourselves. And that's the part that I actually think there's a glimpse of hope for. The person that we see in the mirror, this like beaten down, lack of motivation, paranoid, skeptical, anxious person, is a stranger to whoever the natural person inside is. I actually think that that's a good thing. I would lean on that. There's hope. There's hope for us. All right. Let's go to bed. Despite the tight sheets and crisp-looking pillow, the bed reeks of dust and age. Oh my goodness. It's just too real. It creaks and squirms as you crawl into it. You try to make yourself comfortable, but the overly soft mattress swallows you up. As soon as your head touches the rough pillow, though, tenderness overwhelms you. Coming to this nowhere motel to attend therapy you don't need has drained you both physically and mentally. You're desperate to get some sleep, yet after weeks of wakeful nights, you know it won't come that easy. Your ears are pierced by a ringtone that you swore you changed years ago. Oh, we're getting a call. Let's check. Screen reads unknown number. You feel betrayed by your own phone, masking the identity. Ooh, am I calculated enough that I want to know who it is, but am I paranoid enough not to answer it? Let's answer it.
Hello, sir. Am I speaking with Eugene Harrow?
That's me. The line crackles heavily as if the man is speaking from the distant past. Who wants to know?
My name is Percy Rugger, and I'm a senior sales executive at Ulterior Paralegal Exploits Consultancy. We'd like to offer our help regarding your case.
My case? Who gave you this number?
Well, Mr. Harrow, to be honest, I don't even have your number. It was randomly selected by the computer. The privacy of our potential clients is among our core values here at Ulterior Paralegal Exploits Consultancy, I can assure you. Now, if my information is correct, you have recently been unjustly forced to participate in treatment which, in our opinion, may have consequences not aligned with your best interests.
Really? Oh, we don't want to talk about it, though. I'd rather not talk about it.
Mr. Harrow,
It's a
I
secretive
completely
part of us.
understand how you feel. Even for me, it's hard to talk, hard to even think about the injustice that has occurred. But we will work together to put an end to this undue response to your, well, unique situation.
But I feel like our guy is, unfortunately, also a prime candidate for people to try to manipulate him.
We have only known each other for a couple of minutes, and I can already see what a strong-willed individual you are. You know what you want, and nothing will stop you from getting it.
Don't try to butter me up.
So I presume you're ready for the next step in our cooperation?
I think we're skeptical of the therapy stuff, but I think we're probably more skeptical of some random person reaching out to us. So I'm not interested.
Of course, of course. I'll assume you have nothing against my calling again later just to make sure you haven't changed your mind. I'll write that down here. Eugene, Mr. Harrow, it was a pleasure. Talk to you soon. Tschüss.
Okay. It's a bit odd. At least you know you're not the only one who realizes the absurdity of this mandated psychotherapy. So it's what is going on with him besides like just the variety of observable diagnoses. Oh, now that we're awake, should we mess with our phone? Yeah, let's do it. This is the real depression simulator. We're gonna play a quick match of hyper casual protagonists and hope that sleep will come. The first wave of the tiny bow tie wearing antagonists appears on your phone screen. Let's give him a flick. You tap on the one carrying a golden fork, and he instantly turns into an amorphous purple splotch. A matching splotching sound effect plays at the same time, further confirming that the bow tie wearing, golden fork carrying antagonist is no more. I guess I'm supposed to squish them all. Oh man, he's just gaming out, into anxiety-lidden sleep. As your mind spins around the absurdity of this game, and while your fingers roam aimlessly across the screen, a tiny group of bow tie wearing antagonists gather near the pile of boxes at the bottom of the screen. Let's check out the boxes. Nothing happens. Squash them. As soon as you're about to get the one with the goatee, a slightly larger antagonist with a monocle and a pocket watch enters the play area. Try to understand what's going on. You stare at the bunch of random characters on the screen, but the sense of it all escapes you. Why are they gathering around that pile of boxes? Tap on the big guy. You press your finger against the monocled watchman, maybe a bit too hard. The tip of your finger slips and you almost drop your phone. You look at the screen after your heart almost skipped a beat, and see that the whole screen is taken up by bold fat letters saying, temporal disruption. What the hell is going on? The letters disappear and you notice that the whole screen is frozen. The antagonists gathered around the pile of boxes stand still in their weirdest poses. Is there anything different on the screen? There is. A small timer at the edge of the screen is ticking down, and it's gone. The screen comes alive for a split second. The antagonists unfreeze and continue to antagonize the pile of boxes. And before you get the chance to do anything, the whole phone is covered in black. Out of the blackness, disappointing red letters appear. Protagonists defeated. Quit the game. And as your mind begins to drift, reality fades away. For a precious moment, there's only darkness and silence, but your mind refuses to calm down. And soon your thoughts start chasing each other in circles. Mind map. This is your mind map. It's a representation of all the memories you have and how they're connected. When a new memory is available, you can recall it by selecting and activating it. And you can open the dialogue choices in relation to that memory. Oh, wait. So these are all the conversations we had. In the blur of the half-formed memories, an image of the receptionist appears. You're desperately trying to catch her attention, but she's completely engrossed on the ongoing phone call. Yes, we were too anxious to engage. What a pathetic attempt at acting. Or were you a bad actor on purpose, hoping she'd take pity on you? Okay. Percy Rugger. Lying on the bed.
We'd like to offer our help regarding your case.
Who gave you this number? If they have your number, they also probably know your location. In fact, they probably know what you're thinking right now. That's deep paranoia. Vending machine vandal. The image of the young woman flashes before your mind's eye. She's punching and kicking the old vending machine. Ignore her. It is what it is. You have nothing to say, nothing to do. Just the bare minimum. Dang. The bushy eyebrows of your new therapist emerges, bouncing up and down as he talks. Unless we were very guilty. He's so boring you almost fell asleep. And you apologize to him? The negative self-talk is so deep in our memory. We're guilty about our instinct to guilt trip ourselves by apologizing. The anxiety runs deep. You're such a doormat. As your consciousness keeps spinning around, the carousel of recent experiences wraps into a single vision, suspended between sleep and waking. You find yourself staring at the smallest suitcase you own, perched on the rumpled motel sheets. Everything is packed. Clothes, phone charger, toothbrush, and a couple of other items. I'm ready to go home. As you reach for the handle, you notice a toothless gap, as if the suitcase forgot to fully exhale. Then, the gap widens just a little, and something shifts inside. The suitcase jerks. It's lifted up. But the suitcase feels too alive. With a loud hiss, the seam splits, and a snake's head appears, lidless eyes fixed on yours. Then, more hisses follow, and more snakes emerge, liquid as death and cold as oil. Their bodies twist into knots, ready to spill all over the sweaty sheets. Shut it! Now! You slam the lid down. The latch snaps shut, silencing the hisses for now. Gotta get rid of the suitcase. Let's shove it under the bed and get out of here. Out of sight, out of mind, as you descend the stairs, midday heat pricks your neck with sweat, and you think of everything you left inside the suitcase. It's just clothes, phone chargers, toothbrush, and a couple of other items. You enter the reception area. No one's here. And even the AC is turned off. The air is hostile and heavy. You can't wait here. So we're having like a paranoid nightmare. On a desk, a stack of pristine checkout forms sits beside a pen. Perhaps you can just do it yourself. Yes, let's just get this over with. Name, date of birth, length of stay. But a single mischievous drop of ink escapes the pen and begins swelling into a blot, a puddle, a pond, spreading across the form as sweat spreads across your shirt. I need to write faster. But the ink is faster yet, and soon it consumes everything you've written. Snatch another form. Start over. You slap the new form over the old one. The blot seeps upward. Your sweat drips downward. The paper becomes a battleground of stains. Your tongue feels swollen, your throat dry. It's no use, just keep writing. You write all the words in black on a completely black paper and sign it in black. Not your fault after all. But it is. You did what you could. Now it's time to leave and find something to drink. Get out already. The parking lot shimmers in the heat, asphalt soft underfoot. Across it, the vending machine glows like a mirage, its glass fogged with condensation. Insert coin, press the button. Machine hums, light flickering, but no bottles come out. Insert coin, press the button. You drop another coin. Clink, press, hum, still nothing. Insert coin, press the button. The world narrows to the clink of metal, the press of your finger, the machine's empty whir. Maybe this time it'll work. These thoughts passing through our mind. Quiescence, foreboding, regret, remorse, latency, dormancy, intuition, symbol, reminiscence. This is really like an interesting way to depict a mind map. Tried to leave this damn motel and all that therapy nonsense behind, but everything kept falling apart. What to recall. Don't worry, it wasn't even a real memory. But it is an embodiment of my feelings. So this was like, yeah, in like a dream fantasy sort of way, we had much more initiative, but things didn't go well, which is probably what's really going on in our mind when we're sitting there at the front counter and thinking, I can't talk to her because everything will go terribly. It'll be exactly like I've imagined it in my mind, like this worst case scenario. I'll literally be killed by snakes or something. It's an embodiment of my feelings. More like random neural activity in your brain, synapses sparking from nothing. Best forget about it. I just know it's important. Could be. But are you strong enough to remember it? Brave enough to confront it? Not yet. We don't have enough motivation. What an interesting depiction of very realistic anxiety. The sound of a car engine and screeching tires urges you to open your eyes, bringing you back to miserable reality once again. Your head is still spinning in a whirlwind of uncontrollable thoughts. Some status effects can have a greater impact on your personality. Thirsty, for example, nudges you just 1 point towards the impulsive side, but some other status effects have a much greater influence, and in some cases drastically change the personality you define in character creation. Oh, interesting. So the thirstier we are, the more impulsive we get. Yeah, that fits with how I was describing, like, our baseline is a certain set of behaviors and emotional range and personality quirks, but you start adding on these, like, stressors and these kind of maladaptive ways of coping with them, and you get diversions of our natural personality. Like, I become a very different person when I have not gotten a lot of sleep. I become an even different person when I have not gotten a lot of sleep and I've also not eaten a lot. Both of those two things together might compound and make me more stressed at work, for example, and I may be doing worse at work and so be under more scrutiny and working harder, so sleeping less, and I have less time to eat properly, and it starts to compound. And unfortunately, instead of really slowing down and dealing with those things individually and trying to cope with them properly, what we often do is compensate in these ways that give us temporary relief. So we might pick up more fast food to deal with the hunger thing, which kind of resolves that, but then is also probably not great for our energy level. So it's like also not helping the sleep thing. And we just end up snowballing more and more to the point that these don't just become temporary quirks, but now they become lifestyle. Over time, they can become part of our personality. And so from the therapeutic point of view, we're not just doing behavioral interventions to correct, or I wouldn't even say correct, but like try to find healthier substitutes or alternative for some of these things. But we now have to dig deeper into things that have rooted into the core personality, which is really interesting how that's being depicted through these traits. Your nostrils pick up a curious smell of dust, and your throat is dry as a desert. Your legs are grateful for the time spent in bed, but it was foolish to hope you'd fall asleep. Okay. So we have to find some water. Ooh, I love the like purple light affecting the rain. It's gorgeous. Can we get some water from the sink, maybe? Oh, but the water was like sludge. Black water flows out of the old pipe. Yeah. I'm not touching that. For a moment there, you seem to be drifting back to your old ways, but you don't want to go back. Okay, maybe we have to go outside? God damn it. You hear the man yell from inside his vehicle. Even through the tinted windshield, you can feel his frustration. Come on, start, you piece of shit! Judging by the careless driving you just witnessed, the man is either under the influence or another patient of Dr. Finks. So we have a couple of assumptions. Screw it! We're sleep deprived and anxious. Let's be dramatic. He's gonna kill somebody. Most likely himself. Come to think of it, could it be that that's exactly what he's trying to do? Oh my god, our mind just goes to the darkest place. And like even starts to feel guilty about it, like for thinking about it. Let's find something to drink. Okay, maybe we head downstairs. Oh, that's nice. Put up his little hoodie. It's beautiful, the style of all of this. You jump as if someone jabbed you in the stomach. For a split second, the whole world was exploding, but it was just a thunderclap, the loudest one you'd ever witnessed. Does this motel even have a lightning rod installed? Next time it might hit me. It's just so negative, man. Everything is always negative. Not like, oh my gosh, I'm still alive. We gotta work on that in therapy, my friend. But while you're already thinking about the next strike, your heart is still racing because of the last one. It's pumping, but there's nothing to use this unwanted excess of adrenaline for. So it keeps lingering, eating you from the inside out while you stand alone and thirsty in the middle of an empty parking lot. We just walk outside and we're full of anxiety. Which again, it's like really accurate the way it's depicting all of this. Can we get water from the hose? It's coiled like a sleeping serpent. Ooh, maybe this was where that snake imagery came from. Water is your first desperate thought. But even if the hose was on, you know you wouldn't want to drink what would come out. Okay, let's try the ice box. Hopefully you won't have to melt ice in your mouth to quench your thirst. I fear there's no other option left. What about the vending machine? Yes. Let's try the vending machine. The battered machine seems to be decades old, except for a newly installed, comically large reddish button. Let's check out that red button. It reads, "Drinking water for the people of Rue Valley, free of charge, courtesy of Coral Destiny." That seems like that's the solution to our problem. With a bang and a clang, the machine vomits out a bottle of water. The almost frozen plastic feels slippery in your sweaty hand. You can't wait to drain it of the precious fluid. Okay, let's take a drink. What? Come on, man. He's so paranoid he can't just drink it? Wait a second. How come the water's free? Think, man, think. You've allowed yourself to be seduced by the promise of that cool, fresh sip. Stop and ask yourself the level of anxiety that this man has to interrupt his own basic needs. Ah, it's tragic. It's tragically real. Who benefits? Who benefits from free water? Hey, this is asking the right questions. Why would anyone just give away something of value for nothing? What if they poisoned it? Or are they trying to get us addicted to water? Yes, who does benefit from us being addicted to water? Big water does, that's who. But you and your whole species are already terminally addicted to water. No, there must be some other angle here. Something that's right in front of you, but you can't see it. You just can't figure it out right now. I think I'd rather stay thirsty. Avoid the temptation. But what if they actually want me to not drink the water? There's layers to this. However, our drama is more powerful than our paranoia here. So if I don't drink it, I'll die of dehydration. Either way, it's the end of the road. It's a sensible ultimatum to come to in a highly anxious state. Drink the water theatrically. You rip open the bottled water. cap and start draining the water until you hold a shriveled plastic husk in your hand. What is happening now? Suddenly the night sky turns blood red. You feel an infinite scream passing through everything. Unbearable anxiety washes over you. Get away! But you can't run away from the whole sky on fire any better than you can from your own past. Anxious apprehension. Something's terribly wrong, perhaps everything, and it makes you feel tense and paralyzed at the same time. Deep inner turmoil. More calculated and more sensitive. Oh, okay, so it's maxed us out. At least I don't have to face it, so this is our anxiety really coming to a head. Your eyelids connect, and darkness greets you for a mere second. But as always, the carousel of suffering starts spinning immediately. How do I stop? That's easy. Stop being you. What kind of answer is that? Unfortunately, it's the kind that we tell ourselves. I see you're confused by this. The receptionist says whimsically, emerging from the whirlwind. Oh my god. We're just having a panic attack now. Just on top of everything else, we're just hyperfixating on the failures that we've had during the afternoon and just adding more anxiety to it. Adding more on top of the narrative that we have that we're just a complete failure. No, I was expecting an answer. But the receptionist disappears, and instead the fiery sky begins burning its way through the darkness, cutting several straight, narrow slits in your closed eyelids. I want this to stop! Squeeze your eyelids tighter. And keep craving, keep clinging, keep suffering. I have no choice. "8 p.m.
Still with me, Mr. Harrow?
Stop the carousel and focus on something else. Surely there's something pleasant to think of instead of this bushy eyebrowed psychotherapist and his lame excuse for therapy. Think of something soothing. But Dr. Fink only seems to become more real. So we're in another therapy
Mr.
session.
Harrow, can you hear me?
Yes, sorry.
It's all right.
He pauses for a moment.
I'm aware that you may be experiencing this slight lack of motivation right now, and will surely be coming back to this condition of yours.
Our condition, yeah, we've been over this, you hack! Lack of motivation. That's the least of your worries while your mind is filled with this crushing, overwhelming sense of impending... Wait, did you hear that? A muffled sound of metallic clanging from the outside diverts your frail attention. For some unknown reason, your heartbeat accelerates and cold sweat appears on your
At
armpits.
all times, if possible. Hmm?
This is exactly what you told me before. The doctor finishes, apparently expecting some sort of answer from you. This is the response we gave him last time. Sure. Sure.
That's good to hear. Now, in order to keep us focused, I always limit the session length to exactly 1 hour, hence the alarm. However, since this is your first session...
What? He stops mid-sentence and gives you a concerned look.
Mr. Harrow, you're shaking. Are you feeling unwell?
Well, you endured the whole session stoically so far. But this one moment of anxiety, it could completely ruin your chances of being sent back home at any time. So we're actually back in our first session, but we're still worse from all of the experiences that we had. Something's terribly wrong, perhaps everything, and it makes you feel tense and paralyzed at the same time. We did not have this before. Like our most challenging traits have been amplified. And we're right back where we started. Emotional check. Try and act like the stable, well-adjusted person that you are. There's just no way. You open your mouth with the intention of convincing him that you're fine, but the stress is just too high to control, and it instantly overwhelms you. Cry your heart out, panic, hyperventilate, repeat. Oh man. What a raw portrayal of like the very real sensation of daily compounding anxiety and the fragility of someone, even just the slightest attempt to try to address it. I mean, we were already pretty out of balance at the beginning of this, and now after like all of the stuff from yesterday and the nightmares and whatever's going on with our sense of time, I can't tell if we're more like just physiologically dysregulated or emotionally exhausted. We're definitely dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety, and I feel like it's more anxiety present in this exact moment, but there's definitely a lot of depression too. But I actually think that we'd be hyperventilating, probably panicking. Your heart speeds up, your breathing follows, and soon you start feeling dizzy, and then you feel it, a sharp chest pain. I'm having a panic attack. Yes. This realization makes you panic even more, which further accelerates your breathing.
Easy, Mr. Harrell. You're not having a heart attack or anything similar. Trust me. You're just getting too much oxygen. Let's try breathing through pursed lips as if we're blowing out a candle. This will help.
Oh no. Oh no. We can't listen. We're too paranoid. We're too paranoid to heed his advice. He's trying to kill me. I need oxygen. We breathe even faster. Oh, that's bad.
Mr. Harrell?
Did I pass out?
Only for a few seconds. No need to worry. Just take it.
Jeez.
Feeling a little better?
He smiles. He pauses for a
May I
moment.
ask, how is your sleep these days?
I haven't slept in months, man.
Is that so?
Yes. He seems to inspect the dark circles under your
Well
eyes.
then, if you happen to have trouble falling asleep tonight,
He opens his hand, revealing a single purple pill. Ah, there it is, the purple pill, lying on his palm. There's no way. There's no way we go for it with how paranoid we are. There's no reflection in his glasses. Above them is a pair of bushy eyebrows.
remember, what I'm giving you is a mild, non-prescription herbal hypnotic drug. Nothing more.
Take the purple pill.
Hopefully it'll help you calm down and get some rest tonight. We'll continue tomorrow. All right then. Now you only need to pick up the key card for your room. And I'll call the receptionist to make sure everything is in order. Sounds good?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Can we take a look at the clock? It's 8:04 p.m. What went over here?
The exit is behind you. That's the bathroom.
May I use it, please?
Of course.
What is this? The book's cover is dominated by a stunning redhead, her face elegantly made up, her dress tight. Shadows gather all around her, but a gun in her hand shows she's ready for any threat. Not to mention, with that décolletage, she's definitely dressed to kill. Above the woman, the title, Lilith Undercover, below the author's name, T.J. Sampson. Toilet literature. We don't have the motivation to even read it. How are we doing self-perception wise after all this? A terrified and confused man meets your gaze from the other side of the mirror. He looks exactly like you, but somehow doesn't feel like you. Yeah, once again, I get the feeling that underneath all these layers of stress is someone that we care about for ourselves, but you don't even know what that person looks like anymore when you've lived for so long with debilitating anxiety and stress. What's happening to me? You must have gotten lost in thought for a moment while the doctor was speaking. Couldn't have possibly happened more than a couple of minutes ago, but it feels like an hour has passed since. And then the sound of that old alarm clock awakened you from a daydream you can't remember, and this overwhelming tsunami of dread appeared out of nowhere. We should splash some water on our face to calm down. Or is something fishy about the mirror itself? Let's try to sober up from all this. All right. I doubt we're gonna eat the purple pill with this kind of water as well. Oh. No, we actually went for it. Swallowing the pill dry sounds like a far less disgusting task than putting even a drop of that inside your body. Well, the vending machine works, so...
Refreshed yourself? Feeling a bit better now?
Not really.
Sorry to hear that. But you will get better with time, Mr. Hero. Trust me.
Trust is expensive for us right now. Okay. So she's here again. For some unknown reason, looking at her makes you even more nervous. Can we talk to her this time? Just get away from her. So we're way too anxious to do anything. Can I...
Coffee, you jerk!
No, I can't use it either. I can't use the vending machine. What about Fritta Girl? She's Fritta Girl to me.
I want the internet!
No, this was the beginning of our crisis. Please, man, you gotta talk this time.
Our guest... Oh, hold on. I have someone on the other line.
She presses a button on the
Hello,
phone.
reception? Oh, what can I do for you, Dr. Fink? If it's about the Wi-Fi,
She pauses again and directs her gaze towards you.
Yes, he's here. Of course, no problem.
In an instant, the realization dawns on you. Because of your panicked outbursts at the end of the session, Dr. Fink must have just warned the reception of your condition. I think we would avert our eyes. She touches the button again.
Hello? I'm very sorry. I will have to call you back later. Bye.
She ends the call and turns to you.
Oh, Mr. Harrow, how are you? Are you ready to check in?
She saved us from having to be in our own anxious paralysis. She continues in the same breath without waiting for your answer.
Everything is in perfect order. Don't you worry a bit about anything.
He's just, we're developing the sorry cop trait. Sorry.
Apology accepted. Okay, let's get you into your room.
Her voice is full of enthusiasm. That makes me anxious.
That's the last one on the second floor. Everything's ready for you. And
She raises her hand, holding a piece of blue and red plastic.
this is your key card.
Okay, this time we've learned our lesson. I'm just going to take it. Stretch her arm out politely, hoping she'll hand you the card, but she's completely ignoring your gesture and is excitedly waving it around. What?
Oh, I see you're confused by this. You were expecting an old-fashioned key, weren't you?
No!
Well, we've decided to modernize for a number of reasons.
Suddenly she curtails her excitement as if she remembered something.
You must be very tired. Perhaps I'll tell you about it some other time. It's a really interesting story.
Yes, I'm exhausted.
Here,
So,
I'll just need your signature.
bro, you already read the document. Even though we've reset, he's still gonna read it again. They won't get you this way.
Oh, are you a lawyer, perhaps?
No.
Thank you for your trust, sir.
All right.
I'm here if you need anything. Enjoy.
I
your
love that.
stay.
I love that we're so paranoid that even though we've completely reset, we didn't quite learn something from it last time. Like, it's so built into our personality to be skeptical. So we're in some kind of time loop.
I'll break.
But instead of like that being a good thing where we get to like try things again and do better, the suffering from the previous day just rolls over into the next one, which is kind of accurate to just regular depression and anxiety, because every day does start to feel very similar to the last, and it becomes harder and harder to find a way to meaningfully deviate from that path. Even though you are given new options to do so, like people communicating with you differently, it feels hard to overcome them because at your core, you are still the same. You are still paranoid, overly calculated, anxious, sensitive, introverted. And so even with new opportunities to try the same thing, we don't always tend to just naturally get better. The ongoing cycle of anxiety and depression just tends to sustain itself, if not multiply, because we experience more repeated attempts and failures to change things. And then we negatively reinforce the idea that we're incapable of change, which is, like I said, a very realistic depiction of what it's like to be going through these things. But what I love is that there is a fundamental core belief of hope and foreignness to this feeling that we're having. There's a part of our character here who is skeptical that this is who we really are and who we must be. And I think that that's a fundamentally good thing and makes us very workable. Like, I've dealt with clients who are very similar to Mr. Harrow here, and having gone through my own experiences with depression and anxiety, I certainly know a little bit about what this can feel like. But I get a sense of workability from him and those people who I've dealt with, and I found the workability for myself. But it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes I get asked the question of, how can I learn to forgive myself? How can I finally get over all of the terrible things I've done? How can I finally get over all the regret and the wasted life I've had? When am I going to feel different about this? The process of therapy is slow, and I'm uncertain if it's, even possible to change from this. And what I'll often say is that, well, I don't know if you will sort of wake up one day and feel immediately different than how you feel right now. It's more like every time we talk about this, every time we revisit the subject of the unfulfilled parts of our life, our inability to control things and ourselves and our emotions, every time that we revisit that subject and we work on developing more optimistic and self-affirming narratives about them, it's like we put a little marble in the jar. And you're not going to really notice the effect of that very much, conversation by conversation. But over time, as we talk about this more, and as we develop new ways of thinking and experiencing these events in your life and reframing them to be more self-affirming, you put another marble in the jar. And 2 marbles isn't going to make much of a difference either. But one day you will wake up, and you also won't notice the difference between 49 and 50 marbles. But you will feel differently. Things will get better, and it won't seem so sudden. But the moment of reflection and looking back on where you were from the beginning is going to hit profoundly. And so that's the kind of reassurance I try to provide to someone who is feeling stuck, terminally stuck in the same life experience, feeling like they're fundamentally incapable of changing out of it, and have so many layers of maladaptive coping mechanisms that keep them there, because even though I want to believe in my capacity to change, there's a part of me that's paranoid and thinks I'm being manipulated. Even though I want to communicate with other people and advocate for myself, there's a part of me that's so sensitive that cannot bear the thought of rejection. Even though I want to be someone who takes it easy and can act all cool, I cannot help but feel like even the most minor negative event is the end of everything. These personality traits, they do interrupt the good progress we can make, reaching not only that healthy baseline, but actually developing positive personality traits from where we are. It seems impossible. It really does, especially to someone who is not bought in yet. But it is possible. I've seen it. I've been through it. But the truth is that it's subtle. It does take place over time. And that's the kind of thing that I imagine our character is also going to go through, is over time, moments of opportunity to reflect on changes we can make to improve and changes to the way that we see ourselves. But I think we're going to have to go through a lot of hardship first to get there. So let's see what our next evening is like. Once again, suitcase. Why am I afraid of unpacking? Perhaps you're scared of what you might find inside. Or maybe worried that unpacking, you accept that you're going to stay here for some time. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I was talking about. When I get home from vacation, I'm like, man, I have to accept that I'm actually home again and not, somewhere new and unique. They're going to keep me here forever, aren't they? Yes. Perhaps I could relax a bit in the armchair instead. Oh man, I relate so much to the paralysis. Let's take a seat. All you want to do is sleep, but the unnerving restlessness is gnawing at you from the inside, like a colony of termites munching on a piece of dead wood. Let's just give the suitcase a good stare. What a pitiful, inert object. It's full of my stuff. Stuff, clothes, phone charger, toothbrush, might as well be empty. But it isn't. And it won't ever be without your help. Just close your eyes and hope sleep will come. Another phone call. It's probably the same individual.
Hello, sir. Am I speaking with Eugene Harrow?
Yes. The line crackles audibly as if his voice is reaching across the expanse of time. Who wants to know?
My name is Percy Rugger, and I'm a senior sales executive at Ulterior Paralegal Exploits Consultancy. We'd like to offer our help regarding your case.
What is my case? Maybe this guy might actually know what the heck is going on with me.
Well, if my information is correct, you have recently been unjustly forced to participate in treatment which, in our opinion, may have consequences not aligned with your best interests.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure you're quite concerned, Mr. Harrow, but don't worry. We're here to help you regain your rights.
I'd rather not talk about it.
Mr. Harrow, I completely understand how you feel. Even for me, it's hard to talk, hard to even think about the injustice that has occurred. But we will work together to put an end to this undue response to your, well, unique situation. I mean, we have only known each other for a couple of minutes, so I presume you're ready for the next step in our cooperation?
Do I have to decide right now? Oh, yeah, because before we were only paranoid, but the anxiety has made us, it's pushed us into indecision as well. Do I have to decide right now?
I completely understand what you're trying to say, Mr. Harrow. To make things easier for you, I'll simply write down your general consent here and forward your case to my colleagues in our paralegal department. They'll contact you shortly. Well, Mr. Harrow, it was a colossal pleasure talking with you. Juice!
Okay, unclear motives. Try sleep again. reality fades away. For a precious moment, there's only darkness and silence, but your mind refuses to calm down, and soon your thoughts start chasing each other in circles. Okay, we're back in our memories here. For a split second, the whole world was exploding, but it was just a thunderclap. Yeah, we were concerned about that. The night sky turned blood red. That's when we went back in time. Everything happened again, but nothing after. The reckless driver. When did this happen? The meaning of what you've just experienced is still hard to grasp. Is this some weird deja vu? The memory seems so real, and yet these things clearly never happened. Have you actually gone completely mad, and they were right to send you to Dr. Fink? But what if the careless driver really does show up? What if lightning actually strikes the motel and the night sky turns red? Mind map intentions. The combination of several specific memories can create an idea. With enough inspiration, or willpower points, you can turn that idea into an intention. Intention opens new dialogue options that will lead you through the journey of completing that intention. Keep in mind that not all that you intend can be successfully achieved. Oh, wait, so that'll give us some new dialogue to put them all together. How could you remember something that is yet to happen? Then again, why would you imagine events so specific? But we don't have the willpower. You want to get up and find these strange memories will play out in reality, or if it is all but the fever dream of a lunatic. Yet you can't. It's all too much. All you really want to do is forget you ever even had these weird visions. To forget about being here. To forget about the incident. What incident? Stay in the armchair forever. Well, the last time we went back in time, we had to mess with our phone a bit. So let's do a little bit of that. We've already seen every post. And play some games. But it feels unsettling this time. Too nervous to play a stressful game. Nothing else to do but swallow the purple pill. Swallowing a pill without any water is not a pleasant task, but getting up and to get some water feels like too much of an effort. Guess we gotta commit. You hope the purple capsule find its way to your stomach. Close your eyes again. As soon as you close your eyes, the images return, one chasing another. But gradually, your thoughts begin to slow down and your consciousness lightens its feverish grip on you. No turmoil, no fear, no remorse. I think the most debilitating driving factor here has been the paranoia, because that's the thing that's prevented us most of all from taking any action to deal with the other ones. Oh, it's gone! Was it the purple pill? Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Embrace the sweet relief. Like a leaf on the wind, you're tossed this way and that. So that brought us at least down to regular paranoia. Instead of highly paranoid. But what is this? A tiny spark of light seems to have taken root deep inside you. It must have broken away from that mighty forked bolt of the brightest lightning you ever saw earlier. A spark still without shape, still without purpose, but full of potential. The style of this is so cool. The way it's building this mystery. The sound of the loudest thunder jerks you out of your slumber. The speck of energy, now fully grown, is pulsing in your chest. You remember this feeling. Oh, wait. Now we've got inspiration. Small sparks of inspiration that you can use to motivate ideas and turn them into intentions. When you spend them, they're gone for good. So we've lost a little bit of paranoia. And we've got some inspiration. And as you finally recognize what it is, your pathetic attempt at forgetting about what you experienced earlier is shattered. So now we can, like, internalize this. You have to find out if the careless driver showed up again. You must know if the sky was really set ablaze. You need to see if everything will happen again, and if it does, you need to remember. And there's the self-investment I've been looking for. That is truly the spark, like the actual spark that I'm listening for to motivate someone. The fact that this is all like game system driven is brilliant. Like the depiction of the mental health themes is already scarily accurate. Just like the anxious paranoia and paralysis and the constant compensation behaviors. The resistance to the therapy and everything. But then how the mind works to synthesize experience, but is not able to motivate ourselves to do much about it. This is interesting. We don't have the total lack of motivation anymore either. Here you can see your active intentions. Select them to see more details about how to complete them. Choosing an intention will open the mind map with that intention in focus. So that's like kind of our quest. Okay. So we've been given a spark of motivation, and we are, if only slightly, better than we were a moment ago. And like I said, that is the point from which we would try to motivate change. I don't think that our character, Harrow, here is suddenly going to be fully bought into all of this stuff, but this is one marble in the jar. A marble of, like, just the simplest level of curiosity. Is the thing that happened before going to happen again? But that can be enough to drive curiosity about ourselves, motivate us to do small things like unpack our suitcase, if it serves that aim of satisfying the curiosity. And over time, this may compound the same way that anxiety does into psychological fortitude. Because we didn't start off like this. However we are right now, a bunch of stuff happened to us. We know that there was some sort of incident. And I think the direction of travel there means that there's some way back from that, but the road may look very differently. I so appreciate taking on these subjects from such a creative standpoint, because as much as there is like an interesting mystery and fantasy element to this, aspects of truth and reality and time travel and choices and who you want to develop yourself as, I think at its core is a very real and relatable depiction of what many people are actually suffering from. And to me, that's like the really strong value that a narrative RPG like this presents, because when we get attached to a character and a storyline and we see them overcome challenges that we resonate with, it's always given me a little bit of hope for doing so in my real life as well. So I'm just excited that another kind of this game exists. There aren't many of them, but so far I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing here. So that's the beginning of Rue Valley. I hope you enjoyed this first impression and therapeutic analysis of the opening. The game is now released, and you can find it on Steam. Again, the link is in the description and the pinned comment. I hope you check it out because, like I said, this kind of game is rare, and I always appreciate something that's willing to visit these very complex mental health subjects this way. That makes them fun and accessible and exciting to delve into. So with that all said, I appreciate you checking it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.